Happy Wednesday. Um, my lighting is really weird today. I apologize for that. I need to figure something out with that. My daughter said she has something she can help me with, so we'll see. Hope you're all doing good. If you're here, please say hello so we can chat. Um, we're going to make a fun card. We're going to do a lot of stamping today, and we're going to do a little gilding. Hi, Loopy. I want to make sure I say it right. I know it's very gold leafing. That's what I meant to say. Not a lot of gilding. We're going to be gilding a lot of stuff with gold leafing. I was playing with it this morning and having so much fun. So I just thought the catalog gives it a little bit of direction on how to use the new gilded leafing flakes. These are so fun and they're pretty easy to use. I'm going to share a couple of tips with you today. What are the warning? I don't know what it says warning. Looks like you don't want the birds to eat it. I don't know. It's all in different languages, the warnings. So maybe in the US we don't have the same warnings. It's very light. It blows everywhere. So the first tip, well, we'll get into the tips I'm going to give you. Don't have your ceiling fan going when you're using the gold leafing. Hi, Rachel. I'm so glad you could join us. Let me turn my camera around and I will show you what we're going to be doing today. And today I can show you the catalog. I can actually open the pages. So we're going to be using products from the Fine Art Floral Suite in the Spring Mini. We're going to be using the stamp set, the Designer Series paper, which is gorgeous, the gold leafing, and we're going to need to use the heat and stick powder in conjunction with the gold leafing. And we will use the coordinating dies. So if you want everything on this page, it's $102, and that would earn you either two celebration items, two $50 celebration items, or one $100 celebration item. So if you're interested in this suite, get everything because it's beautiful. I did get everything. I think it's lovely. I love the embossing folder, and I hope to be using that soon. All of the things we're using are on page 32, 33, and 34. And if you do not have a Spring Mini, I noticed Monday I called it the Holiday Mini the whole time. It is the Spring Mini catalog. The holidays are past, although we do have some fun holidays coming up. So let me know if you don't have a catalog, and I'd be happy to send you one if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Donna said she watched the CEO's video. She says open slowly. Yes. Was it with her mother? Was it with Shelly? Sarah and Shelly? They had a good time with the gold leafing. Yes, open slowly because it expands. I didn't find that it expanded that much, but I did. I'll show you what I did because I don't want you to have a bad experience if you try it. This is the paper, which is my favorite of the whole suite. We're going to use this print today. The back sides are kind of solid. They're very, it's not watercolor. What would you call that? If there are any painters out there, there's like almost a texture, like, what kind of paint would that be? Color, if you know. Just Sarah. Yeah, she probably went live and did something. I missed that one. I think during one of our demonstrator events, they both made some things, and it was quite funny. In fact, they dropped the whole tub of the gold leafing during the filming, and it was kind of funny. I love this. This is the pool party. Isn't that great? Painterly brush stroke. Yes, it's painterly. Oh, this is pretty. I could frame this. And there it is, all that kind of dimensional print. So I love the paper. It's that kind of paper you hate to cut into, but cut into it anyway. Because you'll be happy you did. This is the card we're going to make. It's just a little happy birthday card, and I pulled the colors from that designer series paper. We're going to start out with a pool party base. This is 8.5 inches wide by 5.5 inches deep, and then I've scored it at 4 1/4 to make my card base. And then we're just going to do a little subtle background stamping. So we're using the Art Gallery stamp set, and I'm going to use the large image. I'm not going to use the second step. This is a two-step stamp. Yes, acrylic. That's what I was thinking of. Letha said the texture on the designer series paper is like acrylic paints. There's a texture to it. Hi, Letha. Hi, Chris. So we're going to use just this image. I'm not going to use the second stamp for that. And I'm going to use Pool Party ink. So it's just going to be a very subtle background, kind of making, peeking out from behind our actual focal point. So I'm just going to use the rule of threes. I've got a little hair on my stamp. It's probably mine because I'm losing my hair. There we go. We have grandkids over, so any minute it could go, this could all go, this could all go wild. My husband's got him corralled upstairs while I'm on today, but I'm not going to make you guys any promises. My grandson doesn't go back to school until next Monday, the 11th. They had a huge long Christmas break. So we have him and his sister here. Okay, so I just used the pool party and that large image just to kind of make a little interest back there. We could have used that embossing folder that I was talking about, but we're just going to use a stamped image. We're going to use this stamp several times today, so I'm going to clean it off. Then I've got a layer of Flirty Flamingo, and I've pulled this color out of the designer series paper, and it measures 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then I've got the designer series paper, and it measures 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. I just have it framed ever so slightly with that Flirty Flamingo. So we're going to layer all of this on to the card base. This is a great card map for any stamp set that you may own. And any products that you may own. Kind of use this recipe and use it with products that you own to make your own design. Okay, isn't that pretty already? I think we could just put happy birthday on that right now. I think that's so pretty. But we're going to do our stamping. So I've got a little scrap of Whisper White that we're going to stamp our flower on and our stem. And then I've got a little scrap of Pool Party that we're going to stamp our happy birthday. And then we have a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/4 for the inside of our card. So we'll do all of our stamping at once. And I am using Mossy Meadow for the stem. And again, I pulled the colors straight from the designer series paper. I always say the reason I joined Stampin' Up! Was the coordination because it just kind of tells me what to do. Or when I started with Stampin' Up! Years ago, I don't have to worry about trying to find something to match something to match something. You know what I'm saying? So I just can pull the colors right out of designer series paper. Then we are going to use 2 steps on that large flower image. And we are going to use Petal Pink and Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to move some of this out of the way. And I'm going to take the large image and use the lighter color, the Petal Pink. I forgot to turn, and I've got hair on that thing again. I wonder if I've got it on my chamois here. There we go. I could have it on between the stamp and the block, which I think is what's happened. But I don't want that line on there. There we go. Okay, start over. We're going to use the Petal Pink for the first layer of this flower. And when I use my photopolymer stamps, I always like to go A, B, C, 1, 2, 3 and pull straight up to get a good crisp impression. And I also like to use a foam mat underneath. If you don't have a paper piercing mat, which is what I'm using, you can also use a mouse pad. This is a little over the top mouse pad, but that gives you enough cushion for those photopolymer stamps. If you don't have a paper piercing mat, a foam mat. All right, now we're going to use the Flirty Flamingo and put our top layer on that flower. So this is the second hand stamp, or this. We're going to layer this image right on top of that one, and I'm using the darker ink so it'll show up. And you really don't have to be that careful because this is just an artistic impression. Isn't that pretty? So think of all the different combos you can use. Oh, guess what? Come say hello. This is Riley. Did you sneak down here? Does Grandpa know you're down here?
No, we're watching you upstairs.
Okay. Okay, Grandpa's laughing. Grandpa did that on purpose. Okay, going back upstairs, and I'm almost done, and we'll come do something, okay? That was Riley. He is my 6-year-old grandson, my son's son. Carol, he is adorable. He's ornery too when he wants to be. Let's see. Letha says she needs about 20 sheets of just that print, right? I love this paper. Okay, now we're going to add our happy birthday onto this scrap of Pool Party. It looks like Grandpa has them going on some sticker books or some of those magic marker books that you... Something quiet for a minute. They were having a giant what are the orange little foam bullet guns? My brain isn't working. Okay, so I did the happy birthday in Memento Black. And then we'll do the inside. I'm going to use the smaller image on the stamp set. This one and this one. So this will be our lighter color and this will be our darker color. Just to put a little something on the inside of our card. Nerf! That's right, you guys. Nerf guns. They were having an all-out Nerf war right before I started. It's kind of rainy here in Kansas City. Yesterday it was beautiful and I had them and we went over to my daughter's house and they played with the cousins and we got to go outside for quite a while. It was beautiful. but today's a little soupy. Okay, we're done with this one, so we can just adhere that to the inside of the card. And if you had a sentiment, you would probably stamp that on before you adhered it, or wait until you decide which recipient. You could also wait for the happy birthday. Just make up a bunch of these and then add which sentiment you wanted, because there's a congratulations, I miss you, thank you. Sometimes I'll make several up and then just leave off the greeting, so you can stamp it later when the need arises. Okay, now we're going to do the gold leafing. This is going to be the fun part. I hope I don't get too nervous and forget a step. So I'm going to take our stamped image that we have right here, this one, and I'm going to add the gold leafing right on top of it. So I'm going to take that second stamp, secondary stamp, two-step stamping, the step 2 stamp. I'm going to clean off the ink. Really good. And this is how the gold leaf comes, gilded leafing comes. And I have watched it, I watched Sarah and Shelly open theirs, and theirs just kind of popped out. It really expanded. See, it does kind of pop out. So what I recommend is to have a box that you want to use just for your gold leafing. Look how it sticks to everything. And see how just my breath made it move? So I would suggest opening it over your container. I'm going to just use this for my gold leaf and put the lid on, and this is it. Dump a little in there. You could dump it all in there. I've also seen people dump it in like a deeper tin type or just a deeper container, and you'll see why they would do that in a minute when we get to doing it. But you don't want any ceiling fans or anything on right now, because it is blowing everywhere. Okay, and we're going to use, I'm going to get a little piece of scrap paper, and we're going to use that second stamp with some Versamark, because you need something for the leafing to stick to. So I'm going to ink up this stamp. And put it right on top. ABC 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to sprinkle this heat and stick powder on top. And you need this heat and stick powder. This would also work well for any type of glitter. If you wanted to adhere some glitter onto something, use the heat and stick powder. Stampin' Up! Carried this a few years ago, then they stopped it for a while, and now it's back. It lasts forever because you only need a little bit. It's kind of like embossing powder. It has kind of a weird odor to it, but not a bad odor, just kind of a weird odor. And you're going to use your heat tool, and not like embossing powder, you don't want to overkill it. You just want to make sure it's melted. So it doesn't take very long at all to melt it. Just as soon as you see the white powder go away, and it'll get kind of shiny. Not real shiny, just a little shiny. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it's just, see, it didn't take very long at all. And now it's sticky. Okay, now I'm going to take my bucket of the gold leaf, and I'm just going to stick mine right down in it. Now, I've watched some people do it where they took a deeper container and they stuck it in this way, but I just pressed mine onto it. And then I'm going to use, I just have this little stencil brush, or if you have a stippling brush, just a some kind of soft brush. And brush off the excess. I tried a soft toothbrush and I didn't really like it. It left kind of like little scratch marks, so it must not have been soft enough. But this is pretty stiff, so I don't know. But I just do it over the bucket. And then there you go. It's done. Now I would put the lid back on because it'll fly everywhere. And if you find it flying everywhere, just dump it back in there. You can reuse anything that falls off of your project. You can reuse it. So that wasn't too hard, right? And it's really pretty. People will wonder how you did that. Okay, now we're going to die cut everything out. So I'm going to die cut the happy birthday, the flower, and the stem. Let me get some of this off of here. Think of some images that you might already have that would work on pretty beautifully. I'm going to play around with it. I'm going to show you a couple extra tips here as soon as we're done with our card. Different ways you can use the gold leafing. Okay, I'm going to use the dies that coordinate with the stamp set. I'm going to cut out the large flower, the stem, and then for my happy birthday, I'm going to use this large frame. And I am going to use my new Stampin' Up! Mini. This is now available for everyone to purchase. I've had mine for about a month. I've been playing around with it, and I really like it. It's very lightweight. I like that it folds up so it doesn't take up a lot of room. I just have to find the plates. Oh, here they are. It comes with several plates, and all the plates are numbered. So since we're using some die cuts, the thin die cuts, we use plate 1 and 2 of the one plate, the base plate 1 and 2 of the number 2 plates. I'll do it this way so y'all can see. This is another purchase that if you purchased this, you would earn several of the celebration free items. I believe you would earn, I stamped those a little too close to each other, so we're going to have to run this through twice. You would earn one $100 item or two $50 items. Or if you wanted to join Stampin' Up!, you could make this part of your starter kit. When you join Stampin' Up! During celebration, your starter kit is $99. You choose $125 worth of product. You do not earn celebration items on your starter kit because you're already getting a deeply discounted deal, right? And then you also get 6 6x6 paper packs if you join during January and February during celebration. And I believe each of the paper packs hold 40 sheets. They are the new paper packs that will be in the new annual catalog come May. So you get a sneak peek and a preview of them. All right, we're done with all of our die cutting. Now we're just going to put our card together. Okay, of course I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals to pop this all up. And I also have some ribbon from that suite. It is the Fine Art ribbon. It's just kind of a gold. Hi, Stacy. Hi. Laura, how are you guys? And I just need a tiny, tiny little strip of it. And then I like to kind of fray the ends a little bit. Just to give it a little texture. Hello, Patricia. I need to call you today. So I'm going to put everything down. I'm going to stack my stem and my flower using the Stampin' Dimensionals. And I forgot to mention, I stamped this leaf with the Mossy Meadow ink. I took it from the paper as well. And then I'm going to stick that little gold leaf flower in there. Can you see all the shiny? Isn't that so cool? I just love that. Then I'm going to take my little tag that I made and add a little, I'm just going to use a little liquid glue on the back. Just like that. And I'm going to pop that up over the stem with some dimensionals as well. And I'm going to just stick that right there. Is that centered, girls? There we go. Isn't that cute? I just love that. That came together pretty easy. I love it. Okay, if you wanted to, you definitely didn't have to gild it if you wanted to tone it down. I wanted to show you a couple of other tricks with that gold leafing. I'm going to take a little scrap of Whisper White and get it. Thank you, Donna. You can take your tear and tape. I'll just put a little bit down here at the bottom. Anything that's sticky that it can stick to is going to work. So use your imaginations. This is two-sided tape, so I'm sticking it to my my scrap here. And then I'm going to just dop it in there like I did the card or the little flower image. And like I said, I just found it easier just to work over the tub. Doesn't make such a mess. You can use your fingers. I'm just using this old stencil brush that I had. And there, isn't that cute? Now can you see doing that just on a bottom of a card or bottom of a tag? That would be so pretty. Now I'm going to try it with just a little, I'm going to just put some, I'll cut this part off so it doesn't get in the way. I'm going to just use some of my multi-purpose liquid glue and just make some dots on my cardstock. And stick it on there. Now, I haven't tried this ahead of time, so I'm not sure because that liquid glue is liquid. It's not a dry adhering, but let's see what happens. It could give you a really neat abstract look. You know, it's not going to give you like a perfect, but I don't think that's the goal of it, is to give you a perfect impression. But you would have some splatters of gold on a project just by doing that. And then I wanted to try one more thing because I thought this would work really well, is use some of these mini glue dots. You might get some. They don't really adhere perfectly circular sometimes, but let's see what happens. That one's a little better. Yeah, that would make some cute little polka dots. Isn't that cute? So, you know, just play with it. Anything that's sticky, it'll stick to. So, I really liked the Versamark using the stamped image, and I really liked the tear and tape. I think that's pretty cool because I think I would use that on some different things. These little circles are fun. I'm not sure I would use the multi-purpose liquid glue, but like I said, if you wanted to have just some, you know, a splattery look, an artistic look, it would work fine. Okay. Yeah, let the glue set up a little bit. Yeah, it's just something fun to play with. You think it takes a lot of patience? I didn't think it took a lot of patience. This was my first attempt at it, and I thought it turned out well. It's just be very careful because it blows everywhere. And be sure you have a lid on it. Like even when I walked across the room with that tub, it started kind of flying up. It's just very, very flighty. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great Wednesday and rest of your week. I will be back on Monday at 2 p.m. Central for Make It Monday. Keep an eye out on my Facebook page for any new things I can come up with, and let me know if you have any questions. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.